Hey there, my name is Ryan Mercer, and I am one of the authors of File Upload Improved, which is distributed on the unofficial SF.com website. I've spent a lot of 2021 expanding on some functionality to really make it a useful tool for the community. And it was recently brought to my attention that there is a long, outstanding idea on the Idea Exchange that I thought I could help bring to life for people. So you'll see that this one was posted way back in 2007. So that's like, what, 15 years ago. It's got 36,000 points. And the ask is simple. I would like the ability to generate or write into the HTML code the ability to attach files to cases before they are submitted through the online form. Totally reasonable request. Web to case is used by many organizations, and you'll want to include the ability to upload files. So 15 years on the Idea Exchange is a lot. And in fact, Salesforce had started working or scoping an implementation that would bring this to life with people, but they just recently had to backtrack a bit, and they realized that the scope of the work is larger than expected. So it still is to be determined when exactly this is going to be deployed for or released to people. So here we are. The good news is that a lot of the foundation of Filed Upload Improved is there to be able to do this. It just takes a little bit of manipulation along with the power of screen flows to bring this thing to life. So what I wanted to do today was show from end to end how to set up a web to case type process in Salesforce that you can embed on your external website exactly the same way that you would do using the HTML code provided in the web to case standard functionality. And in fact, I think you'll realize that by going this new direction, it will open the world up to a whole new set of possibilities by leveraging the power of ScreenFlow. So without further ado, I'll kind of jump in and give you an example of how it all works. So the first thing I've done is have spun up a new developer org, totally vanilla, but you would do this in your own org. The one thing I will say, step one is to actually install File Upload Improved from unofficial SF. You can come down here to the most recent version and install it. So I have already done that. That's the only step I have done in this process. So we've got File Upload Improved installed. Now what we're going to do is we are going to create a screen flow. And what we're going to call this screen flow is, okay, so this screen flow is going to be the foundation of the web to case form. So pop in a screen here, and we're going to call this the case input screen. And what we'll do is we'll include a text field called your name. And I always like to get rid of the underscores so it's super easy to reference. Same thing, we'll do, actually, we're going to do an email. Your email. Oh, that's the API name, so that's flipped in this case, which is interesting. All right, your email. And then what we'll do is we'll do another text field called subject. And then we'll do a long text area field called description. So if you'd imagine, this would be how your users submit cases to your internal Salesforce team. The final thing, which is the magic, is we're going to include file upload improved. There are a whole bunch of inputs in here to really make this your own. I'm not going to do that many just for the sake of the example. I'm just going to make it as simple as possible. This is an important field. It's not marked as required, but you should always have a value here. If you go read the documentation, there's an explanation as to why to do this. We do want to allow multiple files. And then with the newest version, there is a new field called embed on an external website. And if we read the help text, it says, if this flow is being embedded on an external website, like WordPress, for example, set this to true. Otherwise, you should almost always, this should almost always be either empty or false. So we're going to go ahead and set it to true for the sake of our explanation. And then we're going to include a label, upload files to include with your case. I believe that's everything of what we want. Super easy. So we're done with that screen. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to create the case, create case. The object is the case object. And for name, we're going to put the name that you put in the input. For email, we'll put the email. Got to go down to value. For subject, we're going to put subject. And for description, we're going to put description. Done. Now the last step is to drop in an invocable action called create content leaks downstream. There's a blog that explains how to use this and why to use this that I definitely suggest you take a look at. But it says one of the inputs, required inputs, is a collection of content version IDs. So we're going to select file upload improved content version IDs. Related record ID is going to be from the case that we just created. Click done. This is ready to go. So we're going to call this web to case demo. Hope I spelled web wrong. This will be important later on, but this is the Flow API name. Web underscore to underscore case underscore demo. Go ahead and activate it. All right, good to go there. So we'll go ahead and exit that screen. Next thing that we're going to do is we're going to create a Salesforce site. If you have a community set up, you could use your community site and you could skip this step, but I'm just going to show what it looks like without the community. Let's see if this is an available. Great. So web to case demo. Take some time to register. All right, so we're going to create a new site. Call the site web to case demo. Active homepage doesn't really matter, but what I'll go ahead and do is I'm just going to select the under construction. All right, good to go there. Actually, I do want to make it active. All right, that name already exists. So web to case demo. If you saw there was an error that popped up, I wasn't quite sure what it meant, so I decided to pale and then I went back, and this is the screen I landed on, and sure enough, here's the site down at the bottom that had been created. So might have been just some user error that I had, but good to go now. So here's the site that we just created. And the first thing that we need to do in this site is we need to configure the profile and the user that will be used as the basis of accessing the flow on your external website. It's a lot to process, but follow along. It's pretty simple. So we're going to click this button right here, public access settings. Here's the profile for this guest user. And what we need to do is we need to hop into the object settings, and we need to grant this user the ability to create cases because that's what they're going to be doing in the screen flow. So as is best practice in everything, to eliminate as much permissions as possible, restrict it to just what they need to do. So if we come back and we look through here, so they do need the ability to edit name and email. They also need the ability to edit the description. And finally, they need the ability to edit the subject. So that's it, as little permissions as possible. Click Save. Excellent. So now we're going to go back to the profile. And the next thing that we have to do is we have to assign this user the file upload improved permission set. That's an important step in the process. All right, good to go. So now the next thing that we have to do is create an Aura component and an Aura application, and then copy a few lines of code to your website in order to make this thing happen. So I set up this GitHub repo that you can review. Take a look at this. This is an FSDX project, so if you use VS Code or something, you can push this to your org pretty easily. You do have to make a few changes, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set it up through the developer console. So I got the developer console right here. And what we're going to do is I'm going to change, so I'm going to copy the name because that's going to be the foundation of what we're doing. So Lightning component, paste, and then we're going to click submit. Now this creates a couple of files over here. So if you hop back into the SFDX project, we open up default, you can take a look at, here's where we are in the developer console, and we can see if we click through here, there are some things that we need to do. This is vanilla, don't need to do anything there. With the CMP, this is important, so what we're going to do is we're going to copy this, copy, and then we're going to go into the CMP, paste, save that, and then we can kind of keep clicking through to see if there's anything else not important. CSS file, not important. Design, not important. SVG, not important. Website controller, this one is important. So we're going to go over here to Developer Console, to the controller, paste that in there. Now here's something interesting, your flow API name. Remember when I said that flow was important? The flow API name? We open this up. Here's the WebKit case demo. If I click View Details and Versions, I can grab the API name right here. Copy that, paste it, save. Excellent. So now we're going to go back and see anything else, any other important data? Not important. And not important. So there's only two things that you need to change. The CMP file, copy and paste this there. And the controller file, copy and paste this in your developer console, change the flow API name. So done on that one. So we can go ahead and exit out these ones. Now the next step is to create an an Aura application, also called Lightning application. And embed flow in external website, we're going to call this one app. We will go ahead and select the Lightning App dependency app. I don't think that that's necessary because I believe that the code that I provided you to copy and paste is going to cover that, but might as well just do it to be safe. So clicked into the same thing, Lightning embed, the Aura app, which is embed flow in external website app. And with same concept, click through. This is important, so what we're going to do is we're going to copy this. This is in the app file, and we're in the app file. Excellent, and you'll see that here's the name of the referencing the previous component that we just created. Save that. We'll go back, take a look. It's not important, that's just vanilla. It's not important. CSS, not important. SVG, not important in our case. Not important. It's not important either. And finally, not important. So creating the app is super easy. Just change that one file and good to go. Excellent. So now what we can do is we can go ahead and exit out of the developer console. Don't need to do that anymore. So last step before we actually copy and paste the code into our website is add your URL to the core's origins list, allowed origins list. So in this case, I'm going to be using the unofficial Salesforce domain. So what we'll do is we'll just copy it. Copy. Whoops. Here we go. New. Save. Excellent. Good to go. Last step in the process is to head over to the README section, and you'll notice that there's a section of code down here, and it says, here's the code for you to copy and paste into your website. Be sure to replace your Salesforce site URL. It should be something like blah, 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 blah. So what we'll do is we're going to copy this, and I have a new page on the unofficial Salesforce website. What we'll do is we're going to drop in an HTML component. This is a WordPress website. Got that there. So now what I have to do is I have to replace this with the domain of the site that we created earlier. So if we hop over and we go to sites, we can see there's the site URL. So what we can do is we can just copy that, paste it. Whoops, looks like we truncated it, so I'm going to go ahead and undo what I'm going to copy this, put it back in here. All right, there we go. So let's see if we can get this full thing. See if that works. Copy link address. That might be what we want. Excellent. So that's what we got. So there we go. All right. And there we go. So those are the only changes that you have to make there. So web to case demo. And you'll notice that here's the app that we created, embed flow and external website app. And then here's the component that we created, embed flow and external website component. So it should be good to go. Let's take a look, preview it. Here's the web to case demo that we created, the flow, exactly as we should expect. Go ahead and just do my last name. Test. So here's where the magic. This is all where it is. So it says upload files to include with your case. I can click that button. I don't know if you see the screen that just popped up, but I've got a couple files here. I'm going to include these ones. I've got a photo of a cat, a photo of a dog, and a photo of a lizard. There they go. They have uploaded. You can see them rendering right here. And now click Next. Now let's hop back into Salesforce. Go to the cases, all open cases, and here we go. Here's the case that just got created with test. Let's take a look. And here are the 3 files. Dog, a lizard, and a cat. So just like that, we have fulfilled this idea on the Idea Exchange. It's a little different. You're not using the standard web to case functionality, but rather you're using the power of a screen flow, which I would argue is a little bit more powerful, and also the magic of file upload improved. So really hope that you can make some good use out of this. You can, if you have any questions, feel free to comment on our on this page on the website. I am very active down here, answering questions all over the place. So yeah, it's been a pleasure. Have a great day. Goodbye.